Okay, since our speakers are quite eager to start the night, let's maybe wave to our audience, and then I'll move on to introduce our first speaker for the day, all right? Like, do a big wave to everyone so they know you're around. Okay, I'd say welcome everybody again to our TikTok Tech Immersion Day 6. I'm so happy we're in Day 6. We are like 70% done with the course already. And yeah, so some simple housekeeping rules I think you're all very familiar with. Like, you're all on mute, actually, you realize that. So you can communicate and connect with us using the chat button at the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the Q&A box. We'll try to, attend to those as soon as we can during the session, all right? So let me do my simple screen share. Okay, now I'm actually sharing a simple, brief profile about Yun Tao, our first speaker for tonight. So Yun Tao actually studied computer science at the Zhengzhou University in China. He graduated in 2004, worked for 10 years in Shanghai, another 10 years in Singapore, across companies like Microsoft, Autodesk, and Tencent. He spent 2 years as a C++ developer and has acquired more than 15 years in automation tools development, both on desktop and mobile. So Yun Tao joined TikTok in 2022, working on fundamentals testing, and is currently an automation test engineer. So if you'd like to learn more about Yun Tao, you can feel free to check him out on LinkedIn via his profile. So I'd like to welcome Yun Tao, our first speaker for tonight, to take you through on the subject of UI automation. So welcome, Yun Tao.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me share my desktop. Okay, thanks everyone to join. So for this session, I will cover the UI automation part. I see in the website it's web and the UI automation, but actually since we are introduced the WebDriver libraries, so actually most of the API for UI and for web is not big difference. So today I will try to use one Android test case as an example. Okay, let's today we will cover 4 parts. The one I will introduce the UI automation concept, and then I will use the Appium and Appium inspector as an example to show how we do the UI interactions. And also we will try to automate one real test case and create the automation script. And the last I will to show some Appium core APIs. Okay, the first for UI automation. The first question is, what is UI automation? Actually, UI automation testing is using the software tool to simulate user interaction with the test application and verify appearance of the UI element. So from this statement, we can see it have several keywords. The one is the simulate user interaction. The UI automation is a bit different with other automation. Most of the automation is they are called the APIs to do the actions and to do the workflows. But UI automation is only the only automation is to do with the UI, to do the simulate the UI interaction. And also for the validation part, the most of other automation is called API and get the returns to do the validation. For UI automation, we directly get some status or get some attribute from the UI element itself. Yeah, this is UI automation. For why we trying to use UI automation, they have some benefit. The first is UI automation is the end user perspective. So it's actually the UI automation is do the simulate the click or tap. So it's similar is how the end user is using our product. It's also similar is how the manual QA is doing the testing. They are using the app UI and do all the action and test all the functionalities. Yeah, so this is the most benefit is from UI automation. It's main close with the user action. And also the UI automation is easy to do the end-to-end testing. It's something like if you open the app and do the login and do all the actions and then do the validations. And after that, you close the app. So all the steps we can do in the UI automation and also do the validation for each of the steps. And also because we do the UI, so we can cover the UI logics because the UI, so now the more and more the application is more complex. The UI itself, it have a lot of logics. In other automation, we cannot cover. It's only can cover in the UI automation part. Yeah, and also definitely it can cover the APP functionalities. Yeah, we already know is UI automation is important, and we want to do, but what kind of tools we can leverage? Currently, for the UI automation tool, it have a lot. It includes some commercial tools. Some company they have some their internal tools. Yeah, for today, I just introduced a set of the open source tools. It's all based on the WebDriver protocol. Yeah, if you're interested, you can just Google that. And later, I have a reference link for the W3C, the WebDriver protocol. It's a W3C standard. So for this protocol, it includes a lot of automation protocols and also for the remote control interface. The name is WebDriver protocol, but it's actually not only for web automation. It's named the WebDriver is because it's introduced in the Selenium. We know the Selenium is the library for web automation. So in the beginning, it's called the WebDriver, but now the WebDriver is already extended to support all the different platforms. It's something like for desktop. For Windows, they have a Appium driver, and for Mac also. For mobile, it's today we will use the Appium automation tool driver to do the Android automation, and also for iOS, it's also supported. Yeah, these are the open source tools. Okay, the next, let's introduce Appium and the Appium Inspector. But before we delve into the Appium and Appium Inspector related, let's introduce our test app first. So this is the weather forecast tool in Singapore. So for this tool if you see the UI, we can say it have the most of our part is the Singapore map, and in the top it have a search location. We can search the location for weather, and if you click this button here to expand, it will show all the details for the current location weather. So from the testing perspective, if we see this UI and this app, we are trying to test. The first we can see it have a UI logic here. It's something like we click the expand button, it will expand. If you click the close button, it should be collapsed. And also it has some other functionalities we need to test, like the search, like the show the correct weather. It's a lot of functionality. And also the UI layout. The search button should be here. It should not be in the bottom or somewhere. Yeah. And besides the UI logic and the functionalities, if we want to implement this app, we also need some backend APIs to get the data. And also you can see here is API to load the map from the map server, and also the API to get the weather forecast data. Yeah, this is the backend APIs we also need to test. For our UI automation, we currently is mainly focused on the UI logic and the functionality. For backend, later we have another session to cover the API part. Okay, this is our test app. But to test the Android app, at least we need the Android phone, right? But in the beginning, we want to set up the automation. We need to connect our Android phone to our desktop. Here we use Samsung phone and Mac OS as an example. So if we want to connect the phone to the desktop, first we need to enable the developer option. In the different brand and the different modules of the phone, they have for the setting menu a bit different, but it's similar. You can just reference it. Normally it's just tap the build numbers, the numbers multiple times to open the develop option. And in the develop options, we need to enable the USB debugging. In that case, after we enable the USB debugging, our script can connect with the phone and to control the phone to do the automation. And also some tools and libraries we need to install. The most important one is the ADB, and another is the Android Studio. The ADB, we can install the Android platform tools to install that. The ADB have a lot of command. We can work with the phone to do some shell actions. And also the Android Studio, we are trying to use this one to install the Android SDK. After we have all the setup, we need to have a cable to connect to our desktop. The first time if you run the ADB command, it will in the phone, it will prompt a message box to let you allow to connect. After that, all the setup should be done. And for us, how to check is we just simply to run a ADB devices command. So here I already connect one phone here. So this is the phone's ID, and this if it shows device, that means all the connection, all the setup is done and correctly. If it shows unattached, it's something like you are not tap the message box in your phone to allow the connection. Yeah, if you see here, that means everything is done for this Android device setup. Okay, after we have the phone ready and use the cable to connect to the desktop, the next, let's see how to set up the Appium server and the Appium inspector. Same, we are using the macOS as an example. So the first we need to download these two application for the Mac. One is Appium desktop, another is Appium inspector. So we can download from the you can see here is GitHub. Since it's an open source tool, we can find all the Appium libraries in the GitHub. So the one we need to download is Appium desktop. So here we can see the repository is just a cap in the just recently. I think that for now they are recommend to using the command line tool is this one, the Appium. This one is a command line Appium server. It's based on the Node.js. So all the source code you can find here. Actually, if we run the Appium desktop, if we start a server in the backend, it's also run the Node.js. Just do not need to type the command line. It's not different. And another one we need to download is Appium inspector. This tool we can download in the release, and it's a DMG file we can directly install in the Mac. So here is I already installed this one, the Appium server GUI and the Appium inspector here. Okay, after we have the Appium desktop and the inspector installed, we need to do some configurations. The main configurations is for the Appium server here is after we start this GUI and we need to edit the configurations. Yeah, since the UI shows a bit slow. And only two global variable we need to set. One is the Android home. This one is the SDK root folder, and this is Java location. After we have all the setup, we can just click. The host and the port we can leave the default. Definitely the port if you want you can change. But normally we use the default port. We can just start. So you can see it's a kind of a command line. It's just do not need to type the command. So after the Appium server is ready, then let's open the Appium inspector. By default, maybe I close that. By default, there's nothing here. Yeah, by default, there's nothing here. But we the first configurations we need to set the remote path to the WD the hub. This is the server API address, and you can see here is a local host and the default port. We do not need to change. What we need to do is we have to define the desired compatibilities here. Since I have already predefined, so I just click and you can see here. So here is the desired compatibility is to do some actually is to the configuration for your device. It shows some your device, the platform is Android. For iOS it should be iOS, and also what's the Android system version, and the device name. Device name actually we can get from here. You see. And this is for your application. Since we are testing the weather forecast app, so the package name is this one, and also the activity name. For Android app is a combined with different activities, because for us we are testing is in the main activity. So from our configuration we will set to this, and this is another option is not reset the app after we run everything. Okay, so after we define all the desired capabilities, I think we can click the start session. Click this button, it will connect to this backend to this server. You can see I have a lot of logs here. And also here, it's the inspector is already connected to the phone and open it's already opened the weather app here. This here is I will show the previews for the phone screen. Yeah, I can open another one, the screen copy to see this. This shows the phone screen. Actually, I can do the action here. Yeah, this is the phone. So here it shows current screenshot. If I want, I can refresh. And in the inspector, it have a lot of functionalities we can play with our app. We can the first we can say here in the middle column it shows the whole the entire element tree. If you click, if you select here, select element, it's a track method. We can select a different one. Yeah, here by default it will select the elements. If you just a single click here, you can see in the tree it automatically select the element. Yeah, if you want, you can expand and go through all the tree element to see which part is which one is which button or which element. So here we select the expand button here, and in the right side we can see all the attribute. All the attribute is for this button. You can see the ID is image expand, and the whole XPath. Yeah, Appium actually using because they are all based on the WebDriver, so they all using the similar concept. It's like the web automation. We are using the XPath to find the element. For Appium, they are using a similar concept. And also for some attribute values, and say the package name, class name is this. We can see this one is an image view, and also some status is this one is checked or not. If it's a checkbox, we can see the you can see the checkable is checked or not. It's clickable. Yeah, because it's an image, it shows clickable. It's false, but actually it can click. Yeah, it's enable. If the button is disabled, this one will be false. So it have a lot of attribute we can see here. Later, if we start to create the automation test case test script, and we may copy some ID or some attribute values from here. Yeah, the inspector is we very frequently to use to create the automation script. So here we can see the element tree, and also we can see all the attribute, and also here have some actions we can try. Here the first one is type. In the automation script we call the API is click, but here is type is not different. Because the click is for the desktop or for the web actually the mouse click, but in the mobile device it's just a touch. It's a kind of a type. So if we click here, yeah, here is already expand. Here is need some time to refresh. So if we click the close button, tap again, it will collapse. So you can play with use the inspector, play with your app to see it's how because sometimes it's default controls. Yeah, I mean for mobile for the mobile development, it have some predefined controls, but sometimes if the UI is very complex, the developer may define their own customer controls, but these controls may not support well for the automation. So if you want to try, you can use the inspector to see if it can support or not. Yeah, and also they have a certain case, and yeah, I'm not trying to show all of it. And also here have some command we can try if you want, something like the session abilities. Yeah, you can see it have a lot of other APIs you can run in the inspector and can do some action. Yeah, and also the session information later I will show. Okay, we see the inspector. From inspector, we can see all the elements and do all the actions and play with our test app. Yeah, I think I already covered the track your element, get attribute, command session. Yeah. So now we have a device is connect successful, and we have a Appium inspector. We can get all the information and connect to our device. Next, let's see how to create an actual automation test script. Let's see one manual test case. Actually, I demoed already demoed in the inspector. The step is very simple. It's just launch the app and click the expand button. Just click in the inspector and get the temperature. And yeah, maybe we click the close button to close. And the expectation is the panel should be expand and the close button should show there. And also the temperature, we should get the correct value. This is one, let's say this is a kind of a one manual case. And let's see how to automate this. The same before we, it's like before we connect our device, some setup we have to do. If you want to write the automation script, it's also the library or the IDE we have to config. Either way is we can just use the VS Code and the Python extension, also the PyCharm or any Python IDEs you can use. And also because we know the WebDriver, in a very low level, they are actually is a HTTP request. So they are not yeah, they can support a lot of different languages, not only the Python. You can use C#, JavaScript, even the other language. Yeah, you can just find the library in the Appium website. For Python, it's simple. We just use the VS Code and the Python extension and the Python 3. So today I will using the Python as the programming language to demonstrate. And only one library is required. It's Appium Python client. So after we install that, everything is set up. Another optional is if we want to create a real test case, we also need some harness to run our test case and to manage the test case. You can select to use a PyTest or unit test library, or both are fine. So for PyTest, we can install the PyTest and PyTest HTML. This one is to use the generate the HTML report, and this one to run the test case and manage to filter the test case. Okay, after we have everything set up. Yeah, since my machine had everything already set up, so I will demo this. Is the first to connect to device. Yeah, I open the it's the empty file I just create, and the next is we are trying to because if we want to do the action for our app, the first is always connect to the device and start the app, and then we will try to find the element and to do the action. So the first I will show how to connect. Yeah, the first for connection, if you already connect to the inspector, they will have a session information here. You can see here we can select the language we want. Yeah, even the robot framework they can support JavaScript. Yeah, so since we are using Python, so the inspector is already help us to generate a lot of code. We can just copy and paste here. After we run this code, it will connect to our device and return a driver. Actually, it's a WebDriver instance. And from here, the next step is after we connect to the device, we are trying to click this button. So the first, we go to the source here and click the button. And let's try to copy this one, the ID. So we can use the find element and the find elements, these two APIs to locate the UI elements. And the first parameter is a by, is Appium by is since we, yeah, if you see here, actually they support a lot of different type of information to locate the UI element. Since for us we are using the ID, and also you can see have a lot XPath, and also you can combine all the information here to find the element you want. So for simple, since the ID is Unicode, so we only just need to copy this. If sometimes the ID is not identified, so in that case we may not able to use the ID. We can leverage with the XPath or other attributes. So for now, it's for simple. We just ID and give the value is the ID we just copied. So it will return the expand. It will return a UI element here. So we just give a variable here, expand button dot click. So this will actually to tap this button. It's the same we do here. Okay, after that, the next step is the panel is already expanded. So the next we are trying to get the temperature here. Since this one is more accurate, it's a range. So the same, we click here and see this area is already highlighted, and we can see the temperature. Yeah, can see the text here is the actual value we want. So the next is similar. We want to the temp value. So for all the actions, the first is we need to find the element. Yeah, and the value. Okay, copy here. But a bit different is the previous we click the expand button, but now is we are trying to get the value. So we call another API is get attribute. Since we are get the attribute name is here, is a text. So we just give the text here. After we get the text, we can use the assert. Let's say is we assert the time should be 35. But actually it's a range, right? So for this case, it's definitely the fill. Okay, for demo, because we because the UI automation, the actions is very fast. So for demo, I need to add some sleep here. Otherwise, you cannot see the action. It's just open and just close the whole app. Yeah, for simple, I already prepare a script here. So after we open the app, we just sleep for 3 seconds and do each of a click, sleep for 3, and the text we check is if maybe just 35. And if the text is equal to 35, we print pass, otherwise it print fill. And after we finish this, we will click the close button to close the to collapse the panel, and then we'll quit. If you call the driver.quit, it will actually close the app. Yeah, let's try to run this. I put the command line and the app side by side. So it will restart the app first and wait for 3 seconds and do the click to expand and get the value. You can see here is fill, and after that you click the close button, and if we call the driver.quit, it will close the app. Yeah, so we can see it's already run finished, and we can see the command line is fill. Yeah, but normally we are not using the print to check it's a pass or fill. We can use the assert, or we can define some log pass or log fill method. Yeah, this for demo is simple, because if we're using the assert, if it's a fill, it will not run this one. It will just through the exception and just quit. Okay, this demo is done. The next I will talk about automation. Actually, is some automation framework layers. Because here, if you say the script is very simple and everything is in one file. It's normally for a big project or even the formal UI automation, we are not do like this. Here I put a structured folder. Normally we should have a different layer. This layers is from the bottom to the top. In a very low level, it's yeah, it definitely is based on the Appium libraries, and also some other Python libraries like PyTest, like other libraries. If you want to use the imaging related, you may also reference the OpenCV or some other libraries. Yeah, this is a very the first level. And based on that, we will define some page object. This is include all the UI definitions. And also based on the page object, we may define some your business logic or some common method. And in the test case, we only you can see each of the layer is actually separate. Is in the business logic, we were using the UI definitions or the Python libraries. In the test case, we only call this business logic and the common method. We are not directly call the page object and all the some very low level method. It's because for the reuse, sometimes the UI, because the UI definition is sometimes the UI change more frequently than API, because in a very low level API, it may in the beginning it define and even not change for many years. But for UI, it change very frequently. If you really, it's something like if you get the new app from the Google Play or from Apple Store, you can see if the new version, maybe the UI is totally different. Yeah, that means the UI is changed more frequently. So that means that's why we have another layer to separate that. So that means if UI change, we only need to change the common method and we do not need to change the test cases. So these are some separate layers. It's for reuse and the maintenance. And also for the case management and the runner, you can use the PyTest and the unit test. For here, I do not put a lot of layers. I just simply put one is for the EMV app. It defines some common method to start app, expand panel or class panels, and also get a temporary range. And this one is this one is actually a page object, a UI page object. So here we define the weather panel. Here it defines some different IDs here, and for each of action, I will call the find element and click or get attribute. After that, I define a test case is more simple. It's just have an app instance and call the expand and get value and other and the class. Yeah, after we have all this, we can try to run this. It's more simple to run. Yeah, if you put the PyTest in the system environment, so you do not need to use in the -m to run the PyTest model. So here I just run the structure. Yeah, let's see. So here I am using the PyTest as the harness to run all the test cases inside this folder, and also give the HTML name is a report name. So here is definitely it will fill because it's a temperature is different. So after I run that, it will generate a report. It's a HTML report. Yeah, and also you can see all the code step here. So after that, you can say we have a well-structured the different files, and we have a PyTest to run all the test cases. Okay. Okay, the next I will quickly go through the Appium APIs. Yeah, actually as I mentioned, since they all based on the WebDriver protocol, so most of the API here can directly use in a Selenium. Most of the API is not different. Even the interface is same. The one is important is the device capabilities and also the session. So yeah, so one example here is for Android and one example is for iOS. And we can use the WebDriver remote, this API, to connect to the device and return a WebDriver. Another one is the element locators. As I mentioned, is we have two APIs, the find element and the find elements. It's something like the find element. For this, they will find the first first element is meets the condition, meets the by and also the value. If you're using the find elements, you'll find all the matched elements in array. So for Appium, they support a lot of different bytes here. Here is some common. It's for all the platform. I think even for the synonym is have a similar tags. But here is for the device specific. You can see here is for iOS specific. It's for Android specific. It's for Windows or for other different platforms. After we call the find element, we will get the elements instance, and from use and after we get the instance, we can call the instance some APIs to do the action. Action and attributes. You can see some common method. A click is using to tap the UI element, and the center case, if you put the focus in a text box, if you call the center key, it will input some strings in a text box, and the get attributes. Get attributes actually can get all the attributes I showed in the inspector. And here is also a very important concept is a wait method. We know in our automation script is running in a totally separate process with our app. Our app is running in our device. It's in one process, even in a different device. But for our automation script is running, it's Python is running in our desktop. A totally different process. But that means our automation script is running much faster than the application. Because our application is like the layout, it needs some time to load, especially it's sometimes if it need load some data from the network, it will take longer time to load. But for our script, it just run one API and return one API return. Yeah, sometimes if the UI is not ready, it's something like the button is not there, but you call the find element, you will get none. You will get nothing. So you need to do the synchronization from your script with your app. So it's Appium, they provide a different ways for wait. The difference and how to use that you can reference with the official document. So today I will not explain much for this part. Okay. The last we here have some document link. You can reference this some API document for Appium. This is this is a different version of a document. And the GitHub location is a W3C, the WebDriver protocol. If you're interested, you can go through that. And also for the UI automation, if you want to learn deeper, the one is you can go through the Appium or the source code. They have a different library, the driver, the server, the inspector, all the libraries you can learn from the GitHub. And another one is in a very low level in the device side, how it can interact with all the UI elements. Yeah, in a very, very low level, it will call the accessibility APIs. So if you if you're interested, you can also to go through the Android and iOS accessibility. Okay. So I think that's all for my presentation. Let me take a look at the question.
Yeah, thank you, Yintao. I didn't have to prompt you.
Okay. When seeing a code, there's a cap, is that kept the input? If that the case doesn't suggest that the input cannot be case sensitive. Can you see? This suggests that the input cannot be. What that means? Let me check the caps. Actually, here is just a dictionary. All the case and the values, I think, should be the case sensitive. I think for the key you can find in the Appium document. Value, I'm not sure. I think some value may not case sensitive, but the same you can try or you can find in the document. Yeah, for me, it's for something like for this value or this value, I just got it from the ADB command line, ADB shell command line. So I just copy and paste here. Okay. What software are you using to run the phone emulator and what you just show us right then? That's a reason why I show the Android device, because the Android device is more easy to connect. For iOS, it have some for open source tools, I think the iOS is mainly using the WebDriver agent. That one you have to build and sign in the Xcode and use your own account to sign and to install. But normally, if you're not a Apple developer, after you sign that, after I think 7 days, I don't remember, around the 7 days, the signature may expire, so you have to sign again. And also for Apple, for now, I think to start a test case, you have to use the XC build. Yeah, so most of iOS automation we are running in the macOS, but there are some open source libraries can enable us to run in the other, like we run the iOS automation in Windows. Yeah, but it's another different topic. Yeah, we can run with the phone emulator, also the real device is also supported. Yeah, but you can check the document. The configuration is more complex than Android. Yeah, because the time limitation, I cannot show the iOS. That one take a very long time to set up. Is automation testing much more efficient than manual test because the automation testing don't allow you to test for? Yeah, I think definitely the automation is more efficient than manual testing, because the problem is let's say for the compatibility for Android device, I think they have 1,000 different, even several thousand different modules. If you want to test, it's for manual, it's impossible. Yeah, but automation still also have their own limitation. Some kind of testing, like the UX, user experience, how the automation script do the filling. So some is mainly for filling, is user feel the interaction or something, the UI is good or not. For this, your automation cannot cover. This is definitely we have to do manually. Yeah, I'm not sure if I answer all the questions here for this one. Is there a reason why Python use the instead? Might have